What's up, guys? Welcome back to the last episode of English Week, although I have decided I will continue to make more videos in English. Today, I have no friend I'm talking to. I'm sorry about that. It's just gonna have to be me and you. But as you can see from my screen, I have a big Bringlese here on my computer because this is actually the start of the Bringlese test that I do on my Patreon page, and I decided I'm gonna go through bit by bit a little bit of this test and kind of show you guys the answers and how I would solve this, and kind of just do these exercises with you as an example so that you can learn something. If you haven't taken this test, you still can take it, so maybe before you see some of the answers in this video, you can go take the test. This is my test that I made for you, and yeah, like, if you guys want to take it, you can check it out on my Patreon page, or really, like, you can also just leave me a comment if you really want to take the test. I think I can find a way to get it to you, but if you do want to take the test, maybe watch this video later. So in this test there are, if I remember correctly, 4 parts. There's the translation game, there's a multiple choice, there's fill in the blank, and then there's a listening section at the end. Down here I have like this audio, and I want you to transcribe the audio and kind of write what I said. So people who have taken the test, they did a pretty good job. That part was definitely difficult for them, but nonetheless, let's start with the translation part. Maybe we'll do like 10 questions because this can be kind of long, so I don't want to make this the longest video, but thanks for coming along. Bringlese, gosh, I like that green logo. And guys, let's go ahead and get started. So, Bringlese test, July 2018. Okay, Brian, what do you got for me? So, of course, we will start by translating these sentences. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you. Just 1 second. Whoa, not that big. How about like that? Okay, so number 1. Perché dovremmo andare se lei non ci sarà? So how would you translate this? You can, of course, pause the video, think about it. Now I will give you the answer. So perché is going to be why, of course. Dovremmo is why, and this is a question. So normally it would be we should, but you have to change the order of that. So it's going to be why should we? With should, you do not need a to after. Usually verbs need to. For example, I need to go. I want to go. With should, would, could, and can, we do not need it. So we'll go directly, why should we go if she won't, this is future tense, will not be there. So why should we go if she won't be there? Perfect translation. That's 2 out of 2 points on my test. And let's take a look at question number 2. Anche se non sono nato in Italia, parlo l'italiano. I put this question purposely because I want to know if you can get even if or even though. So you can also see number 3 down here. Anche se piove domani sarà una bella giornata. So you can think about, well, one of these is a fact, a reality. Another one is a possibility, an if. So number 3, this one, anche se piove domani, that's gonna be even if. And number 2 is gonna be even though, because non sono nato in Italia, I wasn't born in Italy, that's a fact. That's not a possibility. So there's no if. It's even though. As I said, I wasn't born in Italy. I speak, parlo, Italian. We don't need the Italian. So I speak Italian. We do not really say I talk Italian. If you're talking about a language, we say I speak that language. So even though I wasn't born in Italy, I speak Italian. Now let's take a look at number 3. Anche se piove domani, anche se piove, maybe I should have put a comma there. Domani sarà una bella giornata. So now this is a possibility. We don't know for sure if it will rain. So even if it rains tomorrow, future tense now, it will be a nice day. Okay? Very simple, very beautiful answer. And yeah, those are all 3 good translations so far. So let's take a look at number 4. È una delle pizze più buone che io abbia mai mangiato. So again, we can just do piece by piece and solve this translation. So let's start with è. Of course, we need the subject. We can't just say is, so we have to put it's una delle pizze. Let's keep this together. So one of the. Now, in English, of course, adjectives go before the objects, so we don't want to say it's one of the pizzas most good. We would have to say it's one of the, and also most good, we say best, like una delle pizze migliori. So one of the best pizza, and of course pizza is plural, so I'll put the S. One of the best, it's one of the best pizzas that I have ever eaten. So this is present perfect tense. We're talking about in our lifetime, something we're experiencing in our life. So it has to be present perfect tense. And so we're gonna say I have ever eaten. It's one of the best pizzas that I've ever eaten. Perfect. Number 5. Se riuscissimo a lavorare bene insieme sarebbe tutto più facile. Okay. So se riuscissimo. This could be a little bit difficult to translate, but the simplest way to say this in English is going to be if we, of course this is noi, first person plural, if we could. That simple. Riuscire, we can keep it as potere, can, to be able to. In the congiuntivo past, we're just going to say if we could. Can becomes could. So if we could, again, you don't need to because it's could, can, should, would. You don't need to. So if we could work well together. Okay, so now sarebbe tutto più facile. Sarebbe tutto più facile. We don't really put sarebbe tutto. As I said in my rules video, you have to have the subject and then the verb. So tutto sarebbe più facile. So let's say everything would be più facile. Do we want to say more easy? No. We would like to say everything would be easier. Okay? So if we could work well together, everything would be easier. That's the correct answer for number 5. Let's go to number 6. Leggere libri di storia mi è sempre piaciuto. Leggere libri di storia mi è sempre piaciuto. Okay, so we're starting the sentence with a verb that's acting like a noun, because this verb is not really being a verb. It's being like a noun. So in that case, and it's usually at the start of a sentence in English, the verb tense that's correct is progressive form, so reading. And of course, libri, books. But libri di storia, the best way I would translate that is reading history books. So, reading history books mi è sempre piaciuto. So this could be difficult because now we're talking about the word order. Probably needs to change because we can't really say like reading history books I've always liked. So I think it's a lot more comfortable to put that at the beginning of the sentence. And again, this is going to be present perfect tense. In my life, I've always liked reading books. Present perfect is definitely the best tense here. So I've always liked reading history books. Perfect. So again, we kind of have to change the order there because we can't really say reading history books I've always liked. We gotta say, I've always liked reading history books, okay? Number 7, when I saw the test results that you guys did, there were many different answers for this one, and a lot of the answers were good, so this one could be up for debate to what's the best way to translate this, but let's see what I translate this to. So, volare, again, it's similar to starting like this, so let's start like this. Flying. Mi fa così tanta paura is something as a whole that we should just translate. So, flying. Fare paura in English is like spaventare or scare. So this is third person. Flying scares me. And then così tanto, like so much. Flying scares me so much. Okay? But there are many other answers that I accepted, like I'm afraid of flying, or like I'm very afraid of flying, or flying is so scary. Things like that. They're not the exact translation, but acceptable. Okay? Number 8 was very difficult, so let's see how you guys would have done. Or maybe you'll still take the test, but sarebbe stato più facile mandarmi un messaggio che chiamarmi. So let's stick with just this part for part 1. Sarebbe stato più facile. Actually, yeah, let's just stick with this. Sarebbe stato più facile. So it would have been. Okay? This is the past conditional tense. This is past conditional tense. Più facile, as we saw earlier, that's going to be easier. It would have been easier to mandarmi un messaggio, send me a message. Che, this is probably the most difficult part about this translation. Than. We don't say of, we don't say that. Than is the best word for comparatives in English. So it would have been easier to send me a message than call me. Okay? Chiamare, infinitive. Let's keep call me just like that. It would have been easier to send me a message than call me. This is a difficult sentence to translate. Again, I saw other options like instead of calling me. That's acceptable. It would have been easier to send me a message instead of calling me. That's acceptable. A little bit more complicated. So I'll keep this. It would have been easier to send me a message than call me. So let's do 2 more and then we will continue in the next video or another video in the future. Okay, so number 9, quanto dista Roma da Milano. This is a strange translation. I had to ask Sonia how she would say this in Italian, but there's a specific phrase I was looking for in English, and that is actually how far is it from Rome to Milan. Okay, and also since I said da Milano, of course you could also say Milan to Rome if you want, but how far is it is kind of the question, and then you put in like from Milan to Rome. This is a common structure in English, like how far is it from from New York to Rome? How far is it from Italy to Greece? How far is it from England to Japan? You can do things like this, always starting with how far is it from okay? So that's a difficult one. Of course, I still accepted how far is Rome from Milan. I accept that, or Milan from Rome. Those are acceptable. Okay, so number 10, this will be the last one. Dopo aver vissuto in America per un anno ho visto tutto diversamente. This is another strange one to translate, but I'm trying to point out some strange verb tenses that are actually pretty common. Dopo aver visto. After, I would accept after living, or also after having lived, which is probably a little bit more correct. After having lived in America for a year, this is simple from here, I saw everything differently, okay? Ho visto tutto diversamente. I saw, past tense, everything differently. Per un anno, for a year. Dopo aver vissuto in America, after having lived in America. Or also, I would accept after living, okay? So yeah, if you answered the 10 questions like that, so far you would have 20 out of 20 points. There are 15 translations in the test, but I kind of want to save those for another video, or save it for you guys if you end up wanting to take the test. And then after that, we can go through these multiple choice questions, and then the fill in the blank, and then maybe we'll even listen to the listening part together. So that's that. That's the start of Bringlese test July 2018. I hope you guys liked it. You can check that out on my Patreon page, but even if you don't want to do that, I hope you learned something. Guys, I hope you enjoyed English week. I think I'll go back to some Italian videos and more of a mix, English and Italian, but è stato un piacere. Ci vediamo alla prossima. Peace.